guys.
It's mandatory fun.
There you go. Alright, hey guys.
Hey, it's mandatory fun.
With Mitch.
And Jen.
So today's topic
is we're talking about transition. So pretty much giving an update with our channel as well as the transitioning things that are happening in our lives. So we definitely want to like talk about all of that. And so I guess, I can start with mine. So pretty much I started my new job at a new unit. So I'm still on Creech, but definitely just moved to a different unit. And I was telling Jen, it is so funny because it is so night and day, right? So my first job is like a 24-hour ops, and we do shifts, so days, mid, swings. And so people are there like in and out, and you're constantly waiting until your next shift comes in to relieve you, and then some people have to stay behind for appointments.
There has to be people there. Like,
yeah, there's always people there, so it's really hard to do any really shop functions and all that stuff. And so I wouldn't say the morale is horrible, but the morale is kind of like definitely a little bit lower just because you can't really see all your coworkers, right. And then you can't really do a lot of functions because, if you do have a going away dinner, there's always going to be someone missing, right?
Left out,
and then so, like, again, the levels of happiness isn't the greatest thing, right? But in my new unit, it is so crazy because it's like 8 to 4 p.m., right? And people are there, and we walk in with like a cup of coffee, like ready to go for the day, like, and then like let's all go out for lunch and like eat at a defect, and like that's never the case in my old unit because we just have to bring our food back to our shop because again, everyone needs to be manning it and everything,
right? And
so leaving for lunch is uncommon until my new job. We also went to a shop breakfast. Like, that's like, I'm a real person again. Because we get to do all these things. And so it's just really funny to be in this situation where I'm totally in like a different environment. And it's great,
Yeah.
It gives me also opportunities to work on my channel because I'm not worried about my schedule, like days off, days on. And I already know how like I'm going to be off at 4 type thing.
Right.
So
you have been really regular on your channel with that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. So, and you're right, that's a huge factor in that, and having to like piece together time off. And obviously for us, we haven't been here all of the time, and it's because we have 2 people. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You just have those restraints.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
So in your new shop, is it one of those things like if you have lunch with like, your chief or whatever, like you're out for like all day basically?
Well, I mean... our tempo right now is pretty low, so they just finished a large project like a month ago, so we do have a lot of free time and a lot of downtime. So I'm sure when things are being picked up, we might have to stay in the office a lot longer.
Yeah.
But right now there's just a lot more downtime than anything. So yeah, so we get to do a shop breakfast, and it's really great just to be in that environment again. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really rad. It's nice to feel like you can build relationships and like have camaraderie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just even that like 1 hour a day, like makes a difference. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's really crazy. I told Jen earlier, like, so it's a job where you have to be read in. And for those who don't know, it's just because of the security clearance. And so it was really funny that I was able to read in like in 4 days, which is like a record.
Yeah.
And so because other people had to wait for the read-in like months at a time, so
right, they don't happen that often. Sometimes in some places, like, you have to wait for that date to be read in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so like it helps me in my camaraderie and settling faster because I'm not outside of the building, and then people are like, is he here type thing, and what is he doing? They have like I can already assimilate really quickly.
Exactly.
Too,
hit the ground running, like they know who you are.
Yeah.
You're in there working with them. Yeah. And no, that's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
That makes a big difference. For sure. Well, that's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
I know you've been like hunting down this job here for a while.
Oh, yeah.
You've been talking about it for months.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey, I sent them an email, and so I'm just gonna follow up. And I was like,
yeah,
man, I really hope you get this job.
Yeah, I applied it for a year ago, and it's been not in a bad way, but they have to constantly push out like, hey, we'll get back to you type thing, just because they're waiting for that one person to get orders out of the shop. And so it was really great to finally do it and get settled in. And like I was saying, I think I said it to you. So there was times where I see them like at the DFAC, like my interviewers, and I would see them at passing, and it was never a thing like, oh, avoid this guy.
Right.
I didn't send the email, so it was always a good thing. They're like, hey, Sergeant Lozada, like how are you? So it's always a good sign when that happens. They're not trying to avoid me, like
they're
so
approaching you. They know your name.
Yeah. I got more a better feeling, like a 90% sure that I was gonna get the job when I know like a senior leadership person. It's like, hey, I see your name in our inbounds. I'm like, well, I didn't know that, but like, well, thank you for letting me know. That's a good sign. That's a good sign that I may be going to your squadron. And so
yeah,
but
no doubt.
Obviously, like it's the Air Force, right? So you never know what could happen. You know, they could deny me, whatever. So I'm not gonna say I'm in it until they say I get the email saying like when can you move over? So,
right, like these are the orders.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, Lord knows that's the truth. Like you can have people get diverted all of the time. I mean that's what happened to us, and that's how we ended up in New Jersey for so long.
Yeah.
When Christopher got orders, he got orders to Ramstein. He was super stoked, and they diverted him to McCord, Washington. Yeah. Again, super stoked. And 2 weeks before we left, New Jersey. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, we've grown to love it. We actually really did love South Jersey. It was great. But yeah, you'll get diverted at whatever point in time. I mean, you're on their clock.
I mean, I guess it worked out for you guys because I definitely like the Pokemon stuff that you guys do.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to go to Philadelphia and all this stuff.
New York. Oh my goodness, that's so true. Right. I mean, for all of the community days, we were able to either go to why did I forget the name? That big ass park in Central Park. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So we're either going there or we're going to Center City, Philadelphia, and all these places, and we found parks that we absolutely love to. So it was huge. It was such a big community. We've actually made really, really good friends, and we're actually going to Chicago next week with 2 of our friends that we met in New Jersey.
That's cool.
Doing Pokemon. So yeah, you know what? Everything pans out fine. So, you can make the best of any situation, but I totally understand your inclination to not get excited until you get orders first, because anything can turn on a dime for sure, in the military. I mean, you're not on your own schedule by any means.
So, I know we want to talk about military transition, but so how's your transitioning out of guard, and how's that working out? And
yes, so just real quickly, when I enlisted in the reserves in Elmendorf, Anchorage, Alaska, and I married my husband. He was active duty, and he was stationed in New Jersey. So since I had the capability of moving, I moved to McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, and I found a home that welcomed me in, and so that worked out really, really well. So I was in New Jersey for 6 years with him. Our reserve unit got bracked. So I had to switch over to the guard. There was, on the same base, there was a guard unit. So I switched over to the 108th Wing. And and then that's where I've been ever since. And, this is my last month in the guard and in the military in general. So this is the end of my contract. I've been in 7 years. I extended 1. And, bittersweet, super bittersweet. Not only am I transitioning out of New Jersey, we live in Las Vegas now. We've been here for 6 months, so I had a new job, we're in a new city, but now I have to kind of cut off, I have to taper off of one, facet of my life. So taper off of the military, which is a big deal. And every time I tell people that I worked with, in the military, like, at first I thought I was transferring, but then I was like, I'm just going to get out. Everyone has such strong opinions about it. You will never just come across someone in the military that's like, man, that's cool. I mean, I guess every once in a while you will, like, all right, cool. It's usually someone has a huge opinion on it, like, you know what, like, you don't want to do that. You're going to lose, your years, or, you're going to come back in a couple of years, and you're going to regret the gap that you have in your service. And all of these strong opinions. And, look, I get it. I hear it. And this wasn't a flippant decision by any means. But, my husband and I are in a good place now. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
I've established, my job. And really like where I work, what I do, the people I work with.
Yeah.
Meeting, just everything, like the stars kind of lined up for us here.
Yeah.
Not to say that we're smooth cruising, but I feel really good about tapering off, and, thank you so much to, the military for the opportunity for teaching me a trade. I think, the leadership that had, decided to take me on as a full-timer. I worked there for 3 years as a GS. And all the opportunities that has granted me. And, I'll never poo-poo it. But, I have sort of outgrown it. Like, we don't have anyone in the East Coast, I have some friends, thank God. But we want it to be closer to, like, family and be able to see people and have people see us. We're in Las Vegas, so people have been seeing us. So this is just it's been really good. And once I taper off of that, I want to dedicate more time to our channel and my channel. Like, there are things I want to do creatively. Yeah. That I just didn't have time. There's no leaving it at the door, even as a part-time, as a guardsman or a reservist. That can be a whole nother episode on its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You, as a full active duty person,
yeah,
obviously, like, you're 24/7.
Yeah.
You're getting paid for, they're able to call you up in the middle of the night and be like, get your butt here. We're ramping up for mobilization or whatever.
Yeah.
And in the guard and the reserve, you're really only told, 2 days a month, like, that's your only obligation. And in your mind, you're like, that's nothing. I can do 2 days a month for however many years. Man, that's certainly how I felt, but I'm at the point now where I just want all of my free time to be my free time. Because there's still moments like, hey, you might be called on to, help out with a project, or to, hey, go check your email, I really need you to sign this, like, this is urgent, or I need a worker, whatever, employer letter, or there's training things, so can you collaborate with this person to come up with slides? Like, it's still in the back of your mind, you know what I mean? Which is fine. Like, a lot of people can juggle all of those things, but I think with what we're trying to do and the feelings that, I have about where I want my life to go, this is just perfect. So that's a transition for me, getting out of the military in general, and I'm in the process of lining up my ducks, with getting out. So that's a process in and of itself. And Mitch here has been so gracious, and he's been really working with me. I know we've not been regular on our channel at all, and thank God he has his own thing. Like, he really doesn't need me to do anything. But after June I should be way more open and regular, and, like, the energy's gonna be different. I'm really excited for it. It's bittersweet, and I am scared. But I really try to push that feeling away, any sort of, like, fear or whatever, with you know what, we have work to do. Like, I have no time to be dwelling on what people are saying, like, oh, you're going to lose this, you're going to lose that. How many of you civilians out there watching this right now are doing just fine? Like, we're going to survive. So
I think, I think that's something important to talk about, like, transitioning in general, like, life or military, like, that's one constant in life, right?
Right.
I may not been PCSing to a lot of different units or like different bases, but at least on Creech, I've been on 3 different squadrons, and that's pretty unheard of just for a comm person. Like, if you work in CSS, if you work maybe Intel, maybe you can switch different squadrons here and there. But for me, I worked in like 3 different squadrons already, so it didn't feel like 4 years. So moving in the military is a constant. So all the new airmen that is joining the military, that's something that you guys need to be aware of. And then for everyone who has been in the military, you already know this, right? And so, I mean, and that's another thing that you also mentioned, like, you kind of need to judge where your life is, like, because if you want to do something like be a YouTuber or whatever, it kind of needs to depend on where you are. Like, if I was in, God forbid, like in, I don't know, North Dakota, please don't send me there, but like, if I was there, I don't know if I could do my channel, right? But I'm here in Vegas, and it's such a great place to do my channel, right? And so you kind of need to judge, like, where you are, and unfortunate or fortunate as it is, like, it's a matter of luck maybe, and sometimes a little of like talking to the right people, right? But it like depends on where you are in your life, and so like I can't really like I can't dock someone else for like I want to get out of the military for because I'm nowhere near family. Like I'm in Vegas, I'm near LA. I can see my family
100%.
like really often. So
Like every weekend if you wanted to. You'd be there. Yeah,
So,
you're absolutely right. So, there is something to be said about being in the military and having that constant, having a safety net, having, freaking that word, but you are ready to go. You're set.
Yeah.
You don't really have to. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks, and you don't have to worry about it. Especially if you have a family, that's huge to have that stability. So by no means is this like a just go with your heart. Because look, as much as I love to just be like, just do what you love and if you are feeling like you just want to explore your artistic side and then just drop things, like, come on now, we can't all be starving artists. Like, that's just not feasible. And I would be doing everybody, such a disservice in saying that. Like, that's just socially irresponsible.
Yeah.
But it really depends on where you are in life. Do you have a savings? It depends on what kind of job you have lined up for you or that you currently have. If you're, a guardsman or a reservist, what is your job on the outside? Can it support you if you want to up and leave the military or go do something crazy like create a YouTube channel? I'm really blessed and I'm really fortunate. I got in the cyber career, and it's the only reason I'm able to do the things that I'm deciding to do. If I didn't have something stable or something that wouldn't support what we're doing, support our household, then it would be silly. It would be really premature to leave the military and have like a big question mark. So, do map those things out wisely. Just think about your life holistically.
And I think that's also a good important thing for all the active duty guys out there and gals. Like, it's always good to have an exit strategy. Like, especially when you're nearing the end of your enlistment. Like, obviously the Air Force is there for you to re-enlist, right? But if not, like, have a resume ready. Start looking at jobs. Start looking at things. Look at things what you can do on the outside of the military, right? And then I think that's always something important to have in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
Because I just come across some folks who like, I want to get out of the military and they don't have a plan. And that's always a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so just keep that in mind for anyone who's thinking about being in the military. It's always great to get what you need from the military and obviously serve your country, but also have a game plan. What's your end game? So
absolutely, 100%. And I feel like that even in itself could be like a short episode.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know you and I probably just combined. We've probably known a dozen people who, like, yeah, I'm just getting out, and in your mind you're like, oh man, I don't know if you should be like, hypocritical, right? But like, really, based on just other things, and again, like, but did you die? Like, no, they're fine. But you know what I mean? Did they regret it though?
Yeah.
That you have an exit strategy, just like when they say, when you get a paycheck, set aside a percentage of that to like your savings. You need to be doing the same thing, like with your, just thinking, whether you do 6 years or 20, you're gonna get out, you know what I mean? So make sure you're building a resume, that you have an I love me file, that you have all these things to prep you, to set you up for going out there in the real world.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. And that's my major transition. So it'll be like I'm sure I'll follow you guys up in July as to how that went.
Yeah.
Once I'm out.
So I think we kind of like hit the point as far as transitioning goes.
Yep.
Like, again, it's just something that it is a constant in life, military and in the civilian world, and you just have to prepare for it. You never know what life will send you, blessings and burdens. And I think you guys just need to prepare for it. And so adapt and overcome. I don't know if that's just a Marine's philosophy. Yeah. So
thank you.
Definitely something that you guys have to keep in your mind. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching. That's the transitions we're going through right now. And I mean, if you're out there, you're in the military and you're going through something similar, transition either to a new base or even a PCA on the same base or getting out, what's your word of advice for those of us who will be nearing that soon? or later.
Yeah, and then keep a lookout for our channel. We'll definitely do reviews throughout Vegas. So for all the military people PCSing to Vegas, definitely check out our channel. We'll do things that you can, the myriad of things that you can do here in Vegas. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can follow me on my Instagram at HeyMitchMitch, as well as my own YouTube channel at HeyMitchMitch. And you can follow Jen at hers.
Yeah, Gildy Pleasure, Gildy. It's Instagram right now. I do have a YouTube channel. There's nothing there, but more to come in July. You'll get that transition.
We also have our Instagram at itsmandatoryfun, so you can follow us at our Instagram. And yeah, thanks for watching. Check us on the next video, and see you then.
All right, thanks. See you.